alongside me. We're definitely trying to help others. And what I mean by helping others, I mean on a federal level, because currently there's no expungement at all on the federal level, even for nonviolent ex-federal offenders, even for a first-time offense. So that's how I came about, the website. And then, of course, like you said, I called into the radio station last year, and I'm definitely happy that you guys invited me on the show to, talk about not only the website, but the community in general, the community that's forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very important topic, especially being that in our community, Black and Latino, it's a very common thing for a lot of our brothers to serve big federal time.
Exactly.
And have a hard time coming back into living members of society, as opposed to just returning convicts back into the system. And Swift, do you want to go into some music, or do we want to? All right. So you know what? We're just gonna go. We're just gonna keep coming with it. So talk about. I guess I don't know if you want to talk about anything that far back, but
you can go back. You can go back as far as you want. Talk about everything.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for.
All right. So we're gonna go in then.
Okay. No holds bars. That's what I'm here for.
So, what exactly happened that landed you in jail?
Well, I was a temporary employee of the Postal Service for several years. Temporary employee meaning, at the time I was a TE, but they call it a casual employee, where you get fired. Basically, there's no benefits, there's no overtime, and you have to work the hours that they give you, of course, and you get fired every 89 days. And on the 91st day, they hire you back, so you don't have to make you a permanent employee. And I worked for the post office for several years, and then they gravitated towards making certain individuals a transitional employee. I actually worked as a transitional employee, and I'm not glorifying crime. I did something very, very dumb, very stupid, something that I shouldn't have done. And what I did was I started to take credit cards and checks,
right,
and sell them to individuals for cash.
Right.
And, that was severely my crime. I did it for about a year, and then I finally got caught, which that happens.
Yeah.
Especially when you deal with any criminal aspect. Most people don't get out. Most people get caught.
Right.
I actually got caught. It was my first offense, and I actually.
How old were you at the time?
Oh, I was 27.
Yeah.
27 at the time. I was actually sentenced to 14 to 21 months in a federal correctional facility, Fairton Correctional Facility in Cumberland County. I self-surrendered on March 5th, 1999. I self-surrendered, drove myself to jail, self-surrendered. I served about 10 months, and when I was in Fairton, I met some great people who actually partook in crime, and was also in the federal system. And after 10 months, I was released to Kentuck Halfway House in Newark, New Jersey, and I was there for about 90 days. And I did 3 years of supervised release with my federal probation officer in Newark, New Jersey. Had no problems. He came to my job, he came to my house.
So you did get, you were able to find a job after?
I was definitely able to find a job after. Prior to that, like I said, I was a temp at the post office. I had some college under my belt, but getting caught made me go back to college. When I went to jail and came home, it was actually a federal work camp. Go back a little bit. Fairton Correctional Facility is a federal work camp. It's like the Army barracks. We had no bars, no cells, anything like that. And what we did was we kept up the groundwork for the jail and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
When I actually came home, I went back to school, finished school. I have a bachelor's in psychology from, I actually have associates in psychology from Hudson County Community College in Jersey City. And I have a bachelor's in psychology from New Jersey City University.
Now, being that you served 10 months, they did allow you to get, let's say, financial aid for school, or?
The only way that you cannot get financial aid is if it's a CDS charge, control of a dangerous substance charge, you know,
okay.
drugs.
Yeah.
That's the only way you can't get, they won't allow you to get financial aid. They won't allow you to get housing, you know, and many other things.
Right.
But because my crime was, which is, again, I'm not glorifying it, and it doesn't make my crime any better. It doesn't make it, the fact that it was federal any better. A crime is a crime. I wasn't actually denied a lot of things. You know, I am denied many things, but I wasn't denied the fact that I was able to go to school and get financial aid.
Okay.
Like I said, I did my bachelor's in psychology from New Jersey City University in 2008, and I was accepted to Keene last year for their master's in social work program. I couldn't go because work kind of, you know, my work schedule was hectic. Work schedule still is hectic. You know how it is for ex-offender. But I got accepted to Keene University for their master's in social work program. And I'll be starting.
Well, just congratulate that.
Thank
you know, that's a major. You know,
yes, indeed.
For real.
Thank you.
So let's get into exactly your work. What gave you the spark? Like, you know, this is what I'm gonna advocate for. This is how I want to do this. Or, you know, who did you seek direction from, or anything like that?
It's a funny story because it actually was a direct result of me being ignorant to the fact that I was able to get my record expunged. I assumed that I was able to get my federal record expunged because it was the first time nonviolent crime, and I assumed that it was on an equal basis as a state level. So, you know, unbeknownst to me, I went to the wrong facility at first, and what I did was I asked the lady at the window for paperwork for, you know, an expungement. She handed me the paperwork. She asked me about the crime and the docket number. I gave her the information, and she said, "Oh no, she said, "No, baby, you can't get your record expunged. This is for state offenders." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean I can't get it expunged?" She said, "No, you can't get it expunged." She said, "I don't think there are any provisions for an expungement. You have to go to the building that you were sentenced in." Again, I assumed I was in the right building. The building happened to be down the street. I went to that building. They said I had to write the judge that sentenced me. I wrote the judge that sentenced me. He actually retired. Yeah, he retired. So what happened was I had to find the person that filled that judge's slot. And when he wrote me the letter stating, the views and opinions and saying how he couldn't do it, I understand it now, but then when I read it, I didn't understand any of the jargon that he wrote in the letter, and I was like, oh my goodness. So basically, I found out that there is no expungement process. There's no provisions for an expungement on a federal level at all. So right now, anybody who's a first-time nonviolent ex-federal offender, you have that record for the rest of your life. An expungement, a record, once you have a record, it never goes away.
Right.
It never goes away. It can be buried so that regular individuals, won't be able to see it, but law enforcement, the TSA, and due in part to the Patriot Act, individuals will be able to see a record. So once you get a record, it basically stays with you. I was hurt, distraught, and I thought my life was over. I was just like, you know what? This is what I did. It just made absolutely no sense. I don't even know why I did what I did. I didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
I have a great family. I have great friends. I was just like, what made me do that? What possessed me to do that? And then the idea just popped in my head about the title to the website, WeDeserveOurLivesBack.com. It just came into my head, and I started going on the internet, looking up ideas, and I went viral. I believe it was late 2008. 2009, I went viral with the website and all the ideas. And honestly, in the beginning, many of the ideas that I had were just in the embryo stage, and a lot of the stuff had missing links to it.
Right.
But then when I started meeting people from our community, because if you go to the website, WeDeserveOurLivesBack.com, and you join the Yahoo group, which is free. You join the Yahoo group, and you get our updates, and we talk to individuals, and we just try to, again, we're trying to get this bill passed. At the time it was HR 1529, which is the Second Chance Act, that was sponsored by Congressman Charles Rango in Harlem.
And what exactly is the Second Chance Act?
The Second Chance Act would allow, basically, to break it down in simpler terms, because I had to read it a couple of times and we went through it with the community. It would allow an individual, a first-time nonviolent ex-offender on a federal level, to get his one and only record expunged. You will be disqualified from actually partaking in the bill if you receive another charge after that.
Of any kind?
A conviction of any kind.
Even a misdemeanor?
Well, no, yep, they said any charge, from what I understand and what we read, any charge.
So when we're talking about the expungement of, is this something that you're talking about? This is a congressional,
Yes.
A congressional act that will be
Yes.
recognized all over the country?
Yes, there's a congressional act that will be recognized all over the country.
And how long has this been debated so far? I mean, as far as this new bill, because you mentioned that there was one with one number,
Yeah.
and now there's a new number.
Yeah.
How old is this latest one?
This latest one, actually, the last one was in the last congressional session. That was HR 5492, and that's the Fresh Start Act of 2010, which represents.
So they come with a new title every
2
time.
years. Yeah,
Okay.
every 2 years. And the bill can be the same, but
Different.
the bill, no, the name and the bill and everything can be the same, but the number usually changes.
Right.
According to when the sponsor introduces it. Congressman Charles Rango he's been sponsoring the bill for almost 10 years, about
Right.
10 years.
How popular is this bill among congressmen?
It's not.
At all?
It's not. It's not.
Is this like one of those bills that they only get like Black and Latino senators and congressmen and the cool white guys behind it? Like, yeah, sure.
You're exactly right.
Like that's it.
You're exactly right. You know?
Yeah.
And let me say, I'm glad in the beginning when you mixed it together, Black and Latino, because it's usually us.
Oh no, we understand. It's just one big boat.
Yeah. It's usually us all the time, and it's definitely not popular with Republicans because, of course, they want to be tough on crime, and a lot of them have financial investments in the privatization of prisons.
Absolutely.
All right, indeed. With that said, I do want to get into a song, and we will come back to our interview with Jaime L. Woodard of We Deserve Our Lives Back, because there definitely is a lot of private interest in the prison industrial complex, and the politicians are involved, and effectively, this is a real cause because, you know, you did your time, you want to have a normal, functional life. And I support you in that it is unfair to be punished beyond what your sentence was. There isn't any reason for you to have that shadow or that cloud hanging over your head, nor anyone else deserves that. You know, all these people that are tough on crime say you do the crime, you do the time, but after it's done, they still want to persecute you. Right. So with that said, we know what it is. They're trying to build a sort of a police state, and this song that we're going to play is by Dead Prez of the same name, Police State. Right here on Rise Up Radio, WBAI, New York.
Yeah. I love this song.
You guys hear me?